You're watching More of a Walrus. I'm your host, Stephen Weathers, and today we are making a Manhattan on Drinking with Walrus or YouTube Happy Hour. It's in the air. Leave a note in the comment if you find one better or worse than the other one. So that works. So, found my martini glass. It's been frosting. Mixer. Full of ice. Jigger. And pony. What do we got? Stirring utensil. This is my fancy butter knife. Bitters, which I haven't used in any videos yet, interestingly enough. We have, kind of see that glare. Sweet vermouth, or Italian vermouth, not the French. Or is it French? I can't remember. And bourbon. Traditionally made with rye, but I don't care, neither does anyone else anymore. So, yeah. So, let's start with 2 to 3 drops of bitters. Okay, that was... Oh. Alright, well. I suppose you could call me a filthy peasant, if you really insisted to. If you really, really had to do that, you could call me a filthy peasant for making such a mess. Anyhow, so this is going to be a 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 parts bourbon, or rye, depending, and 1 part vermouth. One, 2. 3. So that's that, right? That's everything to it, right? Not quite. And a maraschino cherry, which I need to buy more of. Now the cherry just goes in the glass. Boop. But because I like things of a slightly sweeter nature, I also like to throw a little bit of syrup into there. Just for my own personal preference. You could shake this. It's not going to be the biggest issue, but traditionally done, you stir. So I want to do that until the outside of the shaker is nice and frosty, which you cannot see on camera. Yeah, you kind of can. Yeah. Get your strainer, which I forgot to mention, and strain. That was way too loud. And, there you go. There is your slightly cherry Manhattan, done with bourbon instead of rye, because I'm a heathen. That's about all there is to it. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. If you'd like to see more videos like this, check the playlist. In the playlist is not only my own videos, but also videos of Terramora and Furybox, and eventually Mana Spectrum, and possibly Zero Score and or Serious Squirrel, and whoever else ends up following through on the challenges I've issued out to. Currently we have, let's see, yeah, let's do it. No, this way, okay. We have my Steven Sloppy Martini, Zach's White Russian, Terramora's Moscow Mule, and less of a cocktail but more of an educational thing on cognac and the brandy schnifter, which was used. And now we're going to add this one to the list. And I know Josh from Furybox is working on his, and he'll get, I don't know if that'll come out before this one or not. Best served cold. frosted glass. Usually if you get this in a bar, it'll be like it'll just be in a rocks glass, on the rocks, not even stirred. If they actually have vermouth, those heathens. If you have any requests or have any questions about anything, feel free to leave a note in the comments, and I'll probably do a video on that, whatever it ends up being. I think I'm going to do one on vermouth, because a lot of people don't seem to know what vermouth is, so I'll do that. Maybe bitters, I don't know. I guess I'll just take a second and talk about the Manhattan while we're here and drinking. So, the earliest record of a Manhattan recipe is from in the 1880s, give or take. It was found in a book here, a book there, blah blah blah. The actual origin of it is mostly unknown, interestingly enough. Though there are many who claim to be the creators of, as is usually the case with cocktails in general. I think the most popular theory on where the Manhattan came from was from the Manhattan Club in New York in 1880, possibly 1870, like 73, 74. According to, so the official legend, like the official history, quote unquote, of the Manhattan Club in New York says that in 1874, the Manhattan was created for a party by Jenny Jerome, who I didn't recognize the name of, but then apparently was also known as Lady Rudolph Churchill, the mother of Winston Churchill. And no one really believes that because of a lot of things, but also because of roughly when this supposed party was around the same time she was giving birth to Winston in like London or something, just in England somewhere. So pretty sure that's not the story. That is, I want to say, the most popular story. That it was designed by Winston Churchill's mother at a party in New York. Why? Because it sounds kind of cool. I don't know. But there's a couple variety. There's this one with just the sweet vermouth, which would just be a Manhattan, I guess. And then much like with the martini, there's the perfect Manhattan, which is half sweet vermouth and half dry vermouth, so half Italian, half French. There really isn't much more to it that I can think of. It was a drink of choice in the early 19th century, most likely invented with rye and not bourbon. It was one of the first drinks to use vermouth as a modifier. The term is modifier. You take the source material, which would be the bourbon or the rye, and then you modify it with vermouth or, I don't know, orange juice or some shit. You know, whatever that other thing would be. And, yeah. So in the, it seemed like it was, its first heyday was in like 1880s, let's assume, 1880s, 1890s, give or take, when it first showed up and it was hot on the scene, because trends, the way trends work never seems to change. And then it came back onto the scene more or less with the show Mad Men, which was kind of glorifying classic cocktails and a lot of things that probably should have been glorifying, but that's neither here nor there. So I think that's all I can ramble on about this with this one. I've been your host, Stephen Weathers. This has been Mournful Walrus. This is a Manhattan, slightly cherry, for my own personal preference. Maybe I'll make a fancy name for it, like Stephen Weathers Cherry Manhattan or some bullshit. I've been your host, Stephen Weathers. This is Mournful Walrus. That's a cherry-esque Manhattan. Check the other videos that I've mentioned or not. If you liked the channel video thingy, subscribe. Okay, I'm whatever. It really doesn't matter. I don't think anyone's watched this far into the video. You got your recipe and you left. Don't lie to me. Please, don't lie to me. We are men of action. Lies do not offend us? No. Shit. Fucked up that quote.